Hello and welcome to the Apex Esports Racing Studios. We are here for round 5 of the ARA Porsche Cup at Imola. You may notice alongside me is not Sam, he is preoccupied, but I will be joined by Tom once we get trackside in qualifying. Awesome season so far. I absolutely love Imola, one of my favourite tracks. Obviously last round we had Monza with, I believe Ollie Postrup won post penalties once they were delivered. Excellent race last round. In ProAm was Aidan Carter with the win. I think he's looked fantastic all season. Great to see. And then Hayden Puttock, which, yeah, he's been a very strong driver all season long. So that was also excellent to see. Let's have a look at the pro standings as we go into round 5 with Ollie Postrup #1, which is, I mean, it's excellent to see, but I mean, it's surprising. He's been up against some serious teams with Lion GP and Ceze. So being a solo in the pros, I think it's very impressive the amount of points he's clawed up there. But that's not to ignore how close it is at the top. This is going to be very exciting as we see it run to the close of the season. I still think he's up against it once we get to the more teams playing games. But yeah, very impressed with the how close it is up there. Still top 3 could go anyway. In Pro-Am, we have Lars, I believe, yes, on top. Pascal Weyline right behind, who's been very impressive. Lars has put up I know it's the other way around, but I thought Pascal Weyline would have built a bit of a gap based on his performances. Obviously, there was a lot of hype with Aidan Carter. I believe he got pole in round 1, but that's not gone away. This Pro-Am division's been mighty difficult, and it's about clocking. I always find these groups almost harder because you're able to score those extra points by beating a couple of pros. So it's really impressive, the Pro-Ams and their points yields. As we move over to AM, Hayden Puttock with, as I say, a win in the A final last round, securing his place on top. Luke Blow back there. I think his teammate is the Wiley Blair, so those two looking great. Joey Ireland, which I think had a stellar round 1 or stellar round 2, I forget, like a very impressive round. So it's still looking very tight. We know Yoris is a very fast driver. If we look back at certain points on every round this season, he's been up there. So it's not all gone his way, unfortunately. But I think on his day when he gets it right, he can win AM. So let's see. That's still all to play for. As we move over to the Teams Championship, no surprise that Lion GP, it's just which way round. They have looked solid. I think the biggest reason they're not absolutely dominating the one of their drivers isn't dominant top is how close all of the teammates have been in performance. So yeah, great stuff from the Lion GPs. And then Ceze, really strong team. And Tropical Sunshines with Ollie Postrup and I forget the other driver's name. I think he's an AM or Pro-Am. Very strong, but obviously it's going to be hard to beat Lion GP this season. It will just be a case of which way round it is till the end of the season. So let's take a look at our calendar. Obviously, we've been following the Sim series, the Porsche Cup series. So we've had Interlagos, Le Mans, Road Atlanta, Monza, and now we move into the second round of our double Italian header at Imola. I love this track. We are going to have to be careful with the off tracks, the door-to-door racing with all the chicanes. Obviously, it's heat racing format, so there will be that not going to say aggressive, but the style of racing that doesn't lend itself to, say, fuel saving and being strategic. This is going to be a feisty battle, which I'm really looking forward to. We are going to be using the heat format, as so commonly on this series. Obviously, Heat 1, Heat 2, which is based on your qualifying. So Heat 1 is the odd drivers, so 1, 3, 5, 7 odd. And then Heat 2 is then split with the even numbers. Consolation race, this is your chance for the people who don't get through to the A final from their heat to get a second chance to get back into the A final. And then our longer race is the A final, as become normal on this series. There is no chance of rain. Again, it is fully random. We don't just put this in. Sam spins the lucky wheel once, and we go with the forecast that iRacing generated. So no rain. But it's been a good series to watch. I've been watching a lot of the officials, and I think the racing's going to be excellent. Sam's picks. Now, I haven't spoke to Sam, but he's picked David Grenez in Pro, very strong driver. Can get why he has. Obviously, I don't know why Tom picked his drivers, but David Grenez is definitely a driver I was tempted to pick as well. He's Pro-Am driver, Pascal, and as I say, he's been extremely strong. It's almost surprising he hasn't run away with it, but yeah, goes to show how hard it is in Pro-Am, like I was mentioning earlier. And a good pick here, Joey Ireland. I think I've picked him a few times as well. There was that one round where he just stood out, like really looked like the real deal. Yeah, I believe it was in Interlagos. He just, yeah, you can spot it in a driver when you notice they've got that little extra. Okay, for my picks, Pro's impossible to pick. I went with Joe Petrick. I think he's a very solid driver. Yeah, I think he's absolutely rapid. It's very tight in the top in the Pros. I picked the winner last round. I'm hoping to pick the winner this round. As mentioned, Pascal, who I just talked about for Sam's pick, I've obviously picked him as well. Extremely strong driver. But like I say, in Pro-Am, big points are on offer if the Pros don't nail it. And in AM, I've gone with Hayden Puttock. Really impressed with him last round. I mean, I've been impressed with the AM drivers all season. The level of quality has been extremely good. I'm not sure I could pick a season winner for AM, even this early on with the points even set the way they are. But yeah, I'm happy with my picks. Obviously, you can't rule out Ollie Pustrup for the race, but the team games are only going to get more difficult as the season progresses. I mean, I'm not saying Ollie's got lucky, but there was a few moments like in Road Atlanta where he capitalised, and obviously last round he capitalised. But that's about putting himself in the right position at the right time to capitalise. But it just goes worth mentioning how difficult this is going to be. Now, we don't have a track map, unfortunately, to show off on the big screens. We all know Imola, tight, usually involves a lot of overtaking, well, door-to-door racing, which is difficult with these curves, especially with the bounciness of the car. It's okay to manage. It's difficult when you're put in a position that you wasn't planning or you haven't practiced and you catch a curb at a weird angle, or you're going deep into one and you try and cut right for two and you catch the inside curb and you end up hitting the guy on the outside. So it is going to come down to track precision, managing the off-tracks, because Sam's usually pretty strict with his off-track count. He's not here to defend himself at the moment, but I always find they're quite strict for the race length. But the heat racing format will lend itself to more, I say aggressive isn't the right word, but that style of racing where positions matter at the time. You can't think long, think fuel save, think pit. You know, it's a different mindset. You've really got to push it. This series is sponsored by Apex Racing Academy. Provides setups, coaching, telemetry, track guides. I mean, I still use the setups from there. They cover all the range of the most popular cars. I can't remember how many, but let's say 50 odd, I'm guessing. But all the popular ones like the GT3s, the GTPs, the LMP2, and so on from some good drivers. So yeah, make sure you check them out. We are going to go to a quick advert, and then when we're back, we'll be qualifying, and we'll have Tom in voice to join me.
Are you struggling for consistency in your sim racing? Does your iRating look like a roller coaster? If so, we have good news for you. The way to get more consistent is to first understand what you're doing differently than the professionals. And VRS is the answer. With our competitive subscription, you will have the telemetry, setups, tutorials, and everything else you need to fully analyze your driving. Our data packs and the ability to compare your driving with the best in the world will show you exactly where to adjust your inputs, change your driving line, and shave seconds off of your lap times. And our powerful and precise Direct Force Pro wheelbase and precision pedals are being used by some of the world's best drivers. All these champions agree that VRS hardware is not just the best on the market, kit, it's also priced well below the competition. So if you're looking to upgrade to direct drive and the best pedals in sim racing, VRS is your answer. If you want to get better, get faster, and make it happen sooner rather than later, you owe it to yourself to find out why so many people are switching to VRS. You'll be so glad that you did. Visit www.virtualracingschool.com and learn why the best use VRS.
Okay, and we go trackside. I think the AM qualifying has got going, and we should be joined by Tom. Can you hear me okay, Tom?
Yes, I can, David. Hello to everyone. Hello to Imola. Yes, it is one of my favourite tracks as well. Not just David's favourite circuit, but of course one of mine as well. As we are in the opening stages of qualifying, we've got our first class of drivers out on the circuit. And which class would that be, David?
It will be the AM. So we're going to see the AM go out for 10 minutes, ProAm out for 10 minutes, and then we give the pros 12, but that is purely because, not because they need extra help, because obviously the AMs and ProAms get to finish the lap they're on, whereas the pros, we feel it a bit more balanced at the 12-minute mark. So they get to finish their last lap to try and make it equal. Doesn't always work, you know, but it's the best it can be for the way iRacing give it us. I'm a bit glad to hear Imola, good track, because I put it in sort of my top 5 and not many people. I think it's the off tracks here, the curbs here. It's very easy to be put off for life, I think, and I think we find a lot of drivers get put off for life.
Yeah, I'd imagine so. So with the high curbs around here, it's very easy to put all 4 wheels over the white line as well. Of course, iRacing has its own rules in terms of what is track limits and what isn't. So we'll have to see going forward as the session goes on. But of course, these drivers have had a lot of practice before this session has begun. I think they had like a practice session, something like over 90 minutes or whatever. That's how much time they have had. So these are going to be the best laps that they have had all evening.
That's the way you always want it to go. It's nice when it goes that way. It's horrible when you rack up to qualifying and nothing goes your way. You only got to push 1% too hard at this track and you'll find yourself getting 3 off tracks a lap. This is the pain that is qualifying at Imola, but they've got more laps than you would usually find in an official. As you see, Wiley Blair, nice little margin at the moment, 1.6 tenths away from Hayden Puttock. Sorry for the camera jumps. That is not our broadcaster making mistakes. In a heat format, the drivers are split into 2 automatic groups, so there are effectively 2 qualifying sessions out there, which is just the way heat racing's done.
Of course, more on that later when the heats do get underway. But for now, we are looking at the Australian in our picture. That is Blair going towards Tamburello corner, or corners, I should say, considering that it is a chicane, and then a left-hander coming out of him. We're right on board with him as he uses all the curb around the outside on the approach to the Villeneuve chicane. Now, how does he play it? He goes into 4th before entry, down to 3rd for the second part of Villeneuve. You can see using all the curb and placing the car on the outside for the Tosa hairpin. Now, as the circuit inclines, you want to be generous in terms of how you rotate the car, because the car almost like turns for you before you even got the wheel turned in, if that makes sense. So on the run up to Piratella, down to 4th gear, you can just see how much he just slowed there and got off the brakes before he rotated. It's difficult to rotate and apply the brakes at the same time with these Porsche machines. Through Aquamarelli, no problem there on the outside, and sticking to the inside line on the inside, which then becomes the outside for the next chicane, which is the Variante Alta. You can see how much curve he's using. You have to be quite greedy here. You have to risk it all, to be honest with you, if you want to get the best lap possible, which isn't necessarily the most comfortable thing for a driver. A driver would always want to go in there with as least curb as possible, because you want to get all the traction on the exit, but you have to use a lot of the curb as possible without going over track limits. Through Ravazza for the last time, and then instead of Variante Bassa, like it used to be on the old configuration, it's a sprint up to the line. And for this lap here for Blair, is this enough for him to extend the margin over the others?
I think it will be,
the answer to that question, would it be a 142 perhaps? I think it was it?
No,
441.
Yeah, 3 tenths. Well, yeah, you nailed every inch of that, correct? You really want to mash that first curb, and then, like you pointed out, that second curb, you want to kind of, the first curb, yes, smash all of it, but the second, it's that give and take, because yeah, you can take more, but in traction-wise, it's going to be awfully difficult to put the power down. As we see Thomas Worm head in, let's see. Yeah, see, it's very difficult when you come out of that bouncing. Luke Blow with I believe that's a slowdown. We're going to see a lot of those come the race as well. I say the heat format, they can probably get away with not worrying too much about the off tracks. Had it been the longer race format here, you can almost manage them. And that is their qualifying done, just wrapping up their laps.
I'm just looking at Luke Blow, who's just coming through with that, so he's aiming to improve on his time to at least cement second position. Sorry to cut across you, David, a little bit there. But Luke is going over the line to complete his latest lap. I don't know if this is going to be an improvement, though. We'll see as the timing page updates. So his last lap to better the 141.7. Don't think was an improvement. Well, what we do know is that Dustin Reinke did improve his time, but not in his position in 4th place.
And that's securing Blair Racing for 1-2 in AM, which we've seen a few times this season, which is testament to Hayden and Joey to show how many points they've already got this season when, yeah, these Blair Racing boys are able to absolutely now qualifying on a consistent basis. Lots of these yellow flags coming up, which is an indication of a slowdown. As well, Pro-Am drivers head out. Very tight competition in Pro-Am. It's been very impressive, the to and fro. And I mentioned earlier in the interview segment where they're able to score so many points by capitalising on beating a couple of pros. Or that, you know, if you get yourself into 5th on qualifying, your nearest teammate, nearest opponent is P9, P10, it really gives you the opportunity to score some big points. And that's what we're seeing in the Pro-Am field. Capitalising on pros, just either, you know, making mistakes or picking up a quali ban or, you know, something with their race not going correct.
So we've just seen the Pro-Ams out on the circuit now. The car you are riding on board with is front shop. It took a little bit too much curve there, so you may want to back off the pace. And that's a car nearly parking up ahead of him there. And why is he going back to pit lane rather than going all the way around again? There's Kim Andre Bjortland in the 288 going up the hill, competing for the Sim Racing Norway squad is Kim, as he makes his way up towards Piratella Corner, who looks really, really strong in that machine.
Yeah, he's a good driver, not quite in the standings where I would have expected him at this point, but I mean, there's still plenty of rounds and it has been tough competition, so completely understand.
That is Lars Vutzig. I wonder if he was the driver that spun to begin with and then just waited for the field to go on by, unless he just came back out of the pit lane right this second. But the issue is he's a lap out of sync compared to those that'll be setting lap times on their first attempts.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, must make sure no driver does a lap when they are not meant to. We see that time and time again. Easy done. If you're not paying attention, obviously in the officials you are allowed out for the entire qualifying session, but obviously league rules dictate you stay in your time allotment, that you're allowed to do a lap.
So these are going to be the first set of lap times then for the Pro-Ams as they go over. These by no means going to be the best times we see from them. There'll be a few more attempts that we'll see before the time reaches around about where 22 minutes is at. So we're at the moment 14 minutes into this qualifying session overall, and so far the fastest out of all those in the Pro-Ams is Pascal Vale, who is looking to improve, but the problem he's got is all the traffic ahead of him. Now, it's nice to get that toe down the pit straight, but when you're basically following another car, how much does it affect the driver when they're going through the turbulent air in iRacing?
Yeah, exactly. You raise a very good point. You do gain on the straights, but not only the dirty air, it's just, you know, you're a little bit blindsided in the draft in this car. You want to make sure that guy in front of you is quick and obviously makes no mistakes. It is distracting. It is disturbing over the front. That gives you a little bit more understeer. Your rear's a little bit looser through the corners, as we see Pascal Welland getting a bit unsteady there. For example, that corner there, you are going in a bit more blind. You know, you do hundreds of laps of practice and knowing exactly where you want to put the car. As we see him slowing down to build a gap. But yeah, it's tough when you're right behind a car. You're trusting that their line is the line to take.
You know, it was the right thing to do for Vale to back out of it, but now we can just see Christian Nieb begin another lap. So we should start to see some improvements next time around. Christian Nieb going up to what was 9th position overall. Now Gordon Harger's gone up into 8th position and 2nd in the Pro-Ams. But now Kim-Andre Bjortland has gone to the top out of all the Pro-Ams, 2nd place overall with a 1 minute 41.7. That was a strong lap time actually from Kim Bjortland, considering that he that was only his 2nd attempt, and he's managed to leapfrog it up into 2nd place already by this stage.
Yes, indeed. I was wondering if Lewis could turn on the class colours, if possible. Thank you. Do you do much iRacing, Tom?
I don't iRace, I've only been doing commentary. But I do like watching these Porsches coming through. Some of the best sports cars which you'll find within the iRacing world. But there we see the Hungarian Nagy Zombart, who is just coming up behind whoever it is that is in front of him there. It's the 207 that is in front of him. That has to be, or is that the 26? No, it is the 207. It's Sam Frisch, the man from Luxembourg, ahead of him. And we've got the updated class colours on screen, so you know which driver is in which class. So the whites are those in the AMs, and those in the greens are in the Pro-Ams.
Correct, and we'll get the reds out on track at some point. I hadn't noticed it wasn't there, obviously, when we only had AMs on, but then my brain reset when I realised I couldn't think how we determined for a second there. Some good times coming in. I think they need to get their tyre temps up a little bit. As we see Collins putting a P2, and there you go, Bjorklund that we were talking about earlier with that provisional pole. 1.7 tenths ahead of Wally Blair, so yeah, impressive lap. I wonder if we will see a 40 from the pros. Absolutely stacked field is the pros, very impressive.
We should maybe see the 140. Well, I was thinking the 139s for the pros around here, but it just depends on how quick they get up to speed around here. There is Lars Vutzig, who is coming through over the line to complete his latest lap. I don't know if he is on a fast lap, to be honest with you. You can't really see a timing graphic, but we now know that he's leapt up into 20th position overall. And so far in class, where has he ended up here? Just working it out for myself. Yeah, he is 13th in class.
Yeah, we do expect him, especially Lars. I'd say he's definitely a top 3 Pro-Am driver, so he'll be looking for that little bit more for sure. But it's good to see Bjorklund on top at the moment. As I mentioned earlier, you know, very strong driver. He's been in lots of Apex series in the past. It's just been a very stacked Pro-Am this season. And it goes to show we haven't seen Bjorklund up the top much. Matteo Collin coming round. How's his sectors looking? It's difficult with the sector timings, unfortunately, to show them because of the split qualifying. All these people aren't in one qualifying session. There's actually 2, so it's a little strange.
The timing tower has changed drastically once again with the latest lap, so that tells you that the track is picking up by the second. Matteo Collin, who was briefly fastest out of all the Pro-Ams around about a lap or so ago, has not improved his position, and so he remains in P5. It is Kim Bjortland who's still leading the way, and yeah, you could just he's still tucked up behind the car ahead of him, getting all that important tow down the straight. I'm amazed, actually, he's been able to cope despite the distraction he's got ahead of him.
A gnarly drift there out of, I think that was turn 3. Absolutely sliding the rears, which is not what you want in these Porsche Cup cars. So this is obviously our first season with the new Porsche Cup. It's been very popular. We literally had to stop the sign-ups within a couple of days, which is what you always like to see. And obviously this time around, it's introduced ABS and TC. We don't use the TC much. It's usually set quite low. ABS, quite high. No, quite low, I think. Yeah. quite low. Nagi's on a good lap here. I see 3 improved sectors. So we follow him to the line, but he's given an awesome draft back there to that look like Bjorkland and Shaw. Ebe up to P4. Sialfi up to P18. So at the moment, Wiley Blair's AM lap is looking, I mean, because obviously when we had the AMs just on their own, it looked close, but now at the moment we see Wiley Blair P4 and then Luke Blow P10, giving a 6 position deficit to his nearest opponent. That's how you win championships in your class, scoring points like that, because obviously you are scored on your overall finish.
David Connie just put an absolute blinder of a final lap there for himself. I mean, I know we've got less than a minute to go for the Pro-Ams, but that was a unique lap there from the Germans who go to the top of the timing pages ahead of Bjorkland, who's now 600ths off the fastest lap time. There's Lars Vatsa going over.
Yes, indeed. Brilliant lap that. Very close at the top. Got less than 2.5 tenths separating the top 4. 3 teammates working together there.
I would presume these are the pros that have just gone out on circuit now.
Correct as you are, yes. There are 2 teams, Ceze and Lion, who do have a lot of drivers in the pro, so it's been amazing to watch. And obviously it lends itself to, I mean, like drivers like Ollie Postrup, who doesn't have a teammate in this pro, and he's actually leading the championship, which is, yeah, I mean, I've watched every race, and he's just scored a lot of points. He hasn't won anything outright on just sheer pace yet, but he's scoring a lot of points as we are on with Ollie now. Yeah, it's been a very impressive season. I was rooting for him, but, you know, I was rooting for him because it felt like, you know, he needed someone to root for him because he was up against 2 huge teams, but he has not needed any rooting. He's done an excellent job. Long way to go, though. It's going to be a very tough season.
Of course, we're around about the halfway point in the season now, aren't we? And looking at the way Postrup has gone about his business so far this season, would you say he's had a strong campaign compared to how you expected him to have done?
Yeah, absolutely stellar. Yep. Absolutely stellar. He's been smart when he needed to be smart. He's been fast when he needed to be fast. His smartness has paid absolute dividends. I think it was Le Mans and Road Atlanta, just being in the right place at the right time, being calm and being smart has earned him the top spot at the moment. Oh, but then again, he's not slow. That's not what I'm saying. He's plenty quicker than me. So it's been impressive to watch. As that is an off track, but they are just putting heat through their tyres at the moment. I don't think we have a pro time on the board, no.
Not yet.
So this is Sam's pick, getting ready to start his lap.
This might be the first lap time he's about to post here, but David Granez, we'll see. Yeah, he's just got up to 15th for now, but there'll be more in there than what we've seen so far.
Sebastian Orbendorfer, he's one of the Lion GP drivers. Just notice I don't see on the standings the IRL Ford driver. I'm forgetting his name. Finn Weeblehouse. I don't see him on the standings. Joey Petrick, my pick, has just put in his first lap is a P3. 1.2 tenths off on his first attempt. So he's
very impressive.
Yeah. Right, so we're running board with Joey. Let's see. Nice and close over that curb. Early third, early to the throttle. He's going to open this up, down to second. Hug, and then mash that throttle and track out and trust your feet and hands to be smooth. Nicely done. Here, they'll probably brake a little earlier than you expect, like a GT. They're going to focus on getting that power down early. To brake nice and early, get to the apex and throttle and push out. And just trust that you've practiced enough not to get the off track. As you head into Akron this is where you just hold your breath and lean into your seat and pray for a late second. throttle and stay very left. Almost looks like you're off track. But your aim is just to keep your rights on the red and white curb. Here, smash the first one and then try and just glide over the second one. Easier said than done, though. Nicely done. A little bit of a bump on the exit there, but I think that went down very well. Here, just find the straightest, shortest line you can. Braking point is second your turn, unfortunately, so you want to be nice and smooth here. This first corner's quite easy. The second one is misleadingly difficult, I think, because you're coming off the curb, you have to bounce onto a curb, and then the track up point is quite narrow, and then you've got to open the wheel up and stay right for the shortest line. And this is going to be, I think this is going to be pole by a chunk. Wow. 2.9, basically 3/10 clear. And that was his second lap, looking very strong.
We've still got more times to come from these. As we look at Adam Watson, who is, Gregor Galzer, sorry, my apologies, who is coming towards the line, the 185 for his first timed lap. I think he was one of those that came out a little bit later than some, although he might have had a lap deleted for track limits. But the Hungarian has gone over the line, and I think that might be in his out lap actually for Garza.
Yeah,
it is, so yeah, go on.
No, yeah, or like you say, an off track. I see him have done 2.1 laps, so yeah, I think maybe off tracked. Easy done here, so easily done. Way too easy.
And the latest coming over the line is David Grunnes, the Norwegian. Third at the moment in class, but let's see if he can elevate himself up the order overall. I think with this time lap, he should be able to, and he has done up to P7. Still third in class, but it's a major jump.
Yes, indeed, major indeed. But again, a shout out to Wiley Blair. He, at the moment, at AM driver, is sitting P6. It's easy to go unnoticed. His nearest competitor, 14th now. That's what impresses me of this series and the format and the way you score points. I love this element of it, of, you know, not outscoring your class, let alone your against your opponents. I think it's great. We're still waiting for more times from the pros. I mean, Joey, we're taking it for granted that his first lap was third and his second lap was first. We're waiting for the pros to really, looks like, build up that confidence. Only 3 inside the top 10 presently.
We've got just over 4 minutes to go, so there's at least time for a couple more laps for these. There we look at Yuri Pedrig, fastest of them all by nearly 3/10, so it feels like a comfortable margin he's got, but we know how much that can evaporate, considering how much the track can change. That is the 188 going through Tamara. That's Adam Watson with a really nice livery there. I do like that one, actually. It reminds me of an old Subaru from the V-Rally game days and PS1 days.
Yeah.
If you see where I'm coming from
good
with
team,
that.
his altitude. I do, yeah. I was a big Subaru fan myself. Yes, indeed. Livery I like as well. Sitting P22. He's had I spoke to Adam. I don't know the word. Tumultuous, I think might be the word. His season has not gone to plan. Picking up penalties, making mistakes. Yeah, but good driver, fast driver. He just needs to get it together and we'll see his potential. But yeah, he might be on 0 points. My gut is that he's on, I don't know if he scored a point. Oh no, of course, he scored points for the other rounds. I mean, in the A finals, he's been very unlucky in all of them. Marcel up to P5, Elias Sawyer up to P2. That's line GP 1 and 2, and they are separated by 200ths. So the Lion GP teammates are now, with Orbendorf putting it in 3, Lion GP are 1, 2, and 3. Now there are 2 Lion GP teams. So Joey is Fenster.com, and Elias Sawyer and Orbendorf are slightly different. So there are 2 Lion GP teams, but it's not like they're not going to work together. They are 1 and 2 in the championship at the moment. In the teams championship, that is. And we was talking about him earlier, but where is Ollie Postrup's lap? P10 at the moment. Gordon Gazer puts in a P8, so the pros are really starting to put their lap times down now. Can our Wiley Blair stay inside the top 10? P9 at the moment, the YAM driver.
This is a strong effort by the looks of it from Ollie Postrup. Looking at his sector times, throughout this lap so far. He has got a green in sector 1. What about
Yep.
sector 2?
It was on it about three-quarters of a tenth off, which is not too bad. Sector 3 was on it. Yes, that's good. That's good. That's good. The sector we just did is possibly two tenths down, unfortunately. So hopefully an improvement, but he won't be scaring the likes of the top five at the moment, I don't think. Unless I forgot to carry the 1. Comes up to the line.
Where's he produced here then? 6 tenths off the pace before this lap had completed. No improvement for Postrup.
This will be his last attempt. No, he'll get 1. No, yeah, that'll be his last attempt. He's on the last attempt. Only a minute left to go.
Adam Watson is on a fast lap, actually. All greens as well for him, so there's a chance he'll leap up the order quite drastically with this one. He will not want to be in the thick of it here. I'm sure he'll feel that there is more in there than what we've seen so far.
Yep. Well called, straight to P7. That was well needed. That was his last lap of qualifying. Because of course the session ends at the 32 mark. Obviously with AM and ProAm, they get to just finish their lap. That's hence why the pros get the extra 2 minutes. On board with Granez, he's going to be close. Will he actually make it to the line?
No, he won't. No,
don't think so.
Now.
No. It looks like he wants to though, but no.
He's going to give me a goal. Why is he doing it with these sectors?
They are. Well, no, sector 3. No. Yeah, we'll never know now. So, just waiting for the stand-ins to come in, but a great session. Yeah, Joey Petrick with pole. This is the format for the heat. They get split by odd numbers, so 1, 3, 5, 7 from qualifying, and then obviously heat 2 is the even numbers. So we have the Lion GP drivers on 1 and 2, Bjorklund 3, Watson 4, Pascal Wellen 5, Florian Capel 6, Grenez 7, Christian 8, Mateo Collin, P9 and Gorgon Hay top 10. And then, yeah, Luke Blow, Hayden Puttock, Dustin Rinker, Callum Beeman, Daniel Cialfi, Lars Watzvig with an awful qualifying. Well, you know, relative to his very strong pace. Jackson, Joris Ooms, again, quite a poor qualifying for his pace. Gio Sheffield, Jason Hodgson, Thomas Worm, Julian, and Andre de Bruyne as we get ready to start. Stand-in start, and it is important. It is important to nail this start because T1, you're praying for some fresh air next to your car, which is not easy when you're lined up like this, but if you can get the opportunity to take the corners on your own, it's a godsend.
Green flag, green flag.
As the lights go out. Great start from the Lion GP boys, 1 and 2, they can work together. Just waiting for the stand-ins to pop in. Is he going to hold that? Oh, Bjorklund. That's Bjorklund up to P2. A move on Orbendorf. We're seeing that's Adam Watson. Unfortunately, I felt like I've cursed him. I was kind of hoping this was his race where he turns it around, but we're going to replay that once the race settles down. So he backed out of it there, not to sideswipe the guy. Overall, good clean start. I'm really impressed with Bjorklund taking that on. Some very strong drivers are Orbendorfer and Petrick, very high-rated pros. So Bjorklund, he was showing that I'm not just here to follow you guys. He went for that move. Very impressive. It's an impressive
superb
mindset.
He was, and we'll get a replay of how he managed to do it in a moment in this 10-minute heat. So we are looking at around about a 6-lap race for the first group. And we'll get a replay of also what happened to Adam Watson when he went for a spin on the exit of Tamburello. But there we see the race leader. That is Jerry Petrick in the lead so far, looking rather comfortable and already building out a margin. And this is going to be a replay of the start. That's Bjorklund to the outside of the Lions GP car, the fellow Lions GP car. And there we see Adam Watson just turned in too soon.
Yeah,
turned in too soon and caught the sausage curb.
Cold tyres and then, asking the rears to do that much on landing was his demise, unfortunately. So yeah, Joey can't think about his teammate right now. It's all important that he keeps that. Draft is very strong in these Porsche Cup cars. There's not really a lot he can do to help his teammate. The best thing he can do is be quick, because if he breaks that draft, it gives his teammate an opportunity. But let's not forget, it's nice to win a race. It's nice to finish high. But right now, we're looking just to finish inside a set position. We'll get those positions up on the standings to show you that. Ooh, we're just missing the standings, but we'll get on the standings the position he needs to finish to get through.
As the field continues to circulate, one driver who is having a solid start to this race is Matteo Collin, showing that he's up 3 positions from where he had started. This is a replay which we're looking at now, on which we've just cut away from. But there you can just see that is Bjorklund having to go defensive here against Obendorfer, coming out of the Ravazza section, completing lap number 2. You can just see
Patrick here. Let's see.
It's
quite misleading from this camera. Yeah, it is misleading from these cameras to sort of judge. And he does have the team, the draft obviously on from Joey, which is hyper powerful. And as I say, playing it smart is all about getting through the heat. Yeah, bear with us a moment. We are having some technical issues, but I can hear them whirring away in the background trying to fix it. So I think we're just going to stay on board with Joey just for the moment while this issue is being fixed. We do apologise.
Patrick doing a superlative job maintaining the gap over Bjorklund and Obendorfer as they come through, or Vale it may be actually. It's giving them chase as they head towards Ravazza again. You could just see the margin of which Patrick is able to open up now over Bjorklund there. It's almost like he's just left him for dead. Well, he's got half of the job done now so far, and there's not too much more left he needs to do in this first heat. Once again, we do apologise for the technical difficulties at the moment, and there's a car going through the Tamburello chicane. It's one of the Lion GP cars that's gone down to what is now 5th position because he's got a car alongside him. It's Vale who's in 3rd place behind Bjorklund. Bjorklund's still in P2. And we're now over halfway through this first heat. Well, there's just under 5 minutes remaining in this first race. So it's Patrick who leads. Bjorklund in the red and black livery car in 2nd place, and it's Pascal Vale that's shown in 3rd position. Obendorfer was the one that went through the Tamburello chicane, and he's now down to 5th place behind Florian Kappel. And it's Matteo Collin who is the nearest, we'll say it's the nearest, he's the next one behind. Obendorfer's closer to Kappel in the battle for 4th position.
Right, I'm back. It's working, so let's go. Thank you for that, Tom. All right, what did I miss? Anything exciting? I see Patrick's opened up the draft, which is going to put Bjorklund a bit more exposed if they want to fight. Top 12, you can see on the standings are green. This is the position you need to finish to get yourself through to that all-important A final.
So Obendorfer was the one that went through the Tamburello chicane and lost 2 positions. He was in 3rd place behind Bjorklund before he went wide. So that was quite costly for him, but at least he's still inside the top 12 and not spinning around like what Adam Watson was doing earlier. He's now back up into 16th position. So if Watson gets on with it, he might just creep back into the top 12 and be in play for the A final. But even if he doesn't, there is the consolation race later to give him another bite of the cherry to get there.
100%. And yeah, all the positions he gets now boosts his position come the B final race start, which is always helpful. Yeah, I missed the Orbendorfer off, so it was where Adam Watson spun. This, the outside of here, right?
Not this chicane, it's the Tamburello one.
Ah, copy.
Where he went through. Yeah, he went through the chicane and went through the gravel.
Oof. Petrick really dropping the hammer. Alby Auckland made a mistake because that gap's built up. As we see Daniel Siafi with front left damage and down in P20, he's going to obviously carry on, but that's quite a lower position now for the B final because obviously we have the second heat and their lot as well. So, you know, he's looking at 12th, 13th in the B final to start, which is not where you want to be to have a chance to get through to the A final. Yeah, my pick for the race, Joey, looking very strong, very impressive.
Well, whilst we've been focusing on this battle, it has been a terrific recovery from Watson from where he is. He's got by the fellow Brit of his for position, Callum Beeman, for 15th place. So he's got up another position. The next driver he'll be chasing is the Belgian Joris Ooms in 14th. How far is he off him? He's only a few tenths off him, so if he can get... Oh no, he's a full second back. So he's going to have to really dig deep for this last lap as the white flag has been shown. And there we see Kappel and Obendorfer, isn't it, that's going back through after that mistake he made earlier. So Obendorfer back into 4th position. Now, they do not want to come together, these, because this will seriously jeopardise their round if they do so. So even if you lose the position, don't jeopardise any more. But you can see Kappel fighting back on the exit. Tamburello, that was close.
Very close. Yeah, I think he was wise there. Yeah, sure, you can score a couple of points, but securing your position in the A final is where you get a lot of points. And over a long season, a lot of points add up. Really impressed with Petrick. Yeah, so Pascal Wallen with a slow down, but he does have a sizable gap, probably enough to get this served, as he does gets it served and holds P3. Having a very strong race. Yeah, brilliant to see Auckland. I love that move. Max Verstappen-esque, right? At Imola. I've just remembered the move he pulled on, was it Leclerc? Oh, Piastri.
Well, yeah, it was Piastri probably, yeah, at the start.
Yeah,
of last
absolutely.
Race.
Yeah, exactly.
We've got the leader coming round to the pit straight to take the win in this heat. And Jerry Pedri got off to an absolute blinder. And he's going to start his evening with a perfect score. And it's Kim Bjortland coming through in 2nd place. But the battle for a potential place in the A final isn't done there. It's going to be a drag race to the line.
Wow. I actually... That shuffled to complete order last. Won that of the 3. Absolute reverse order that was. Love to see that. So Granaz picked up P12 in the end there, and that's our 12 for the A final confirmed. Yeah, brilliant end to the race there. So these drivers can rest a little bit. Well, the top 12 can. The bottom lot will be racing again in the B final. I saw someone at the start of the race get a black flag. I don't know if we caught that, what happened or what the penalty was. I can't remember because we got new flag designations in SDK. I can't remember what the black flag means, but I assume I think the meatball flag's slightly different. To wait for set heat 2 to fire up.
I think there was still a car on circuit that was still in the lead lap, but was over a minute behind the race winner. I think that might be who we were waiting to see over the line first, and then obviously the session can transition into the second heat.
I respect that. I respect that. You got to finish. Have you been to this track, Tom?
I haven't actually, no.
No, I haven't done many of the Euro tracks either, apart from like, you know, Spa, But no, I'd love to get to the Italian ones. Just waiting for the results to come in. Someone is enjoying themselves. I've never realised this. The next time broadcast race I do and I have a problem, I'm just going to take my time on the last lap. But yeah, we're obviously waiting for Heat 2. We're just checking if we've got a technical issue or if it is just a driver. SDK's not our friend today. Oh, we've got the grid. So as long as we get the standings and the standings has class, we are cooking.
Green, green, green.
So Elias Sawyer looking excellent start there. Looks like the top two are away very well. Koenig around the outside, but he'll get that closed off. So 1, 2, 3, 4 unchanged. Oh, someone's gone long. That was Ollie Pustrup, completely off the track. Into a 3 wide. Looks like he's finally safe now. Has P7 got a black flag? Oh, that guy went deep on Ollie. If we could get the class designations back. As we got off.
Oh, it's a car in the barrier.
I'm just trying to see who that was.
That was Manuel Piendo.
Yeah. Cold Ice Esports driver. Great start for the front lot. All kept their positions. Top 6 remained unchanged, I believe. I do wonder what the black flag is, because it's not definitely not a slowdown. So obviously,
It'll be jump start if anything, David.
Yeah, good point. Standing start. Yeah, good point. Oof, someone went deep in there to the first hairpin. So everyone got through okay, but yeah. Looks like there was some love lost because there was definitely a shove in the second part there. Always a difficult place to serve the slowdown here. You get offline, but obviously we're still clustered up, so 2 wides are easy to find yourself in.
Yeah, he's got damage, I think, Andy Miller. Even though the black and orange flag isn't even shown on that, it doesn't mean that they haven't taken any damage at all. That's Adrianson's coming into the pit lane, presumably for a jump start. We might be able to get a replay as to whether that is what had happened. But there we see Gazer on effect, under threat, sorry, from Moritz right behind. So 2 Hungarian drivers going toe-to-toe at the beginning of the second lap here.
Looking very strong. Again, same situation, top 12. So it's Joey Ireland hanging on to the back of the top 12 position to secure his spot in the A final. Very strong driver, but he's going to have to fight this. Just trying to see if there's anyone behind him. No, he's got the skill to hold on to this. He is in a bit of a gaggle. He does have he's surrounded by teammates, which doesn't make it easy. But no, Luke Blowe's had a fantastic season, so he's had some bad luck of notoriously Le Mans. I remember him getting wiped out, and I'm not sure the other one. I remember twice him getting severely wiped out. Yeah, someone in chat confirming 7 had a jump start. Yeah, so full black is a proper black flag, and then the meatball symbol literally has the meatball symbol on it, so perfect. Yellow being the slowdown. And that's Sam who's serving it now. It's cost him position. Looks like it just cost him the 1. So Ollie Pustrup is still through after that huge off we saw at the start. He's composed himself pretty well and realised the priority. You know, he's P9. Our Pro Championship leader at the moment, but yeah, down in P9 with the likes of Elias Sawyer and Joey Petrick scoring some big points and good positions in the heats. Is going to make it difficult for the A final.
Well, the battle towards the back end of the placings for the A finals is taking shape. And we see the man from Luxembourg, Sam Frisch, running in P12 at the moment, just ahead of the Hungarian Levente Szigrai, who's determined to continue his fine start to this one. Piendl has rejoined the race a lap down now, so at least he will try and get some mileage on some points on the board before he races in the consolation race. He's not going to end up in the A final realistically, but he want to grab some good points anyhow in this one going forward. But Elias Soa may not be putting away in exactly the same way as the race winner in the first one was doing so, but it is still a commanding lead over David Koenig. I think there was a change for position between Morris and Garza on the exit of Akram O'Reilly.
Yes, indeed, good spot. Yeah, looks like this P12 position still all to fight for. P15, the train goes back to, so it's anyone's game. Because yeah, I think the difference, yeah, P13, you're in a high position for the B final, but you really don't want to do another race. Things go wrong, bad luck happens. You really want to secure it in that first race if possible.
You want that break as well
yes.
on this particular one before you start going racing again. Sometimes as a racing driver, when you're all fired up, you feel like you're ready to race again, but other drivers may feel that they just need to give their arms a rest.
Sure. Yeah, 100%. Even just the mentality, right? Because it depends how your race closed. If you started calming down and just bringing it home, that isn't the kind of sentiment you need for T1 at a race start. So, yeah, it could be your mood as well. He's taking a look. And having a look at David Koenig. Let's see. Does seem to have some really good pace back there. I think there's 2 teammates behind him. So we're seeing Lion GP and says they do, yeah, very well, as has been the norm this season.
Behind him are the 3 Hungarian drivers in the field, Lampert, Moric and Garza. And that's a mistake now from Sam Frisch, and that's a costly one in more ways than one, because that has allowed Max Noth to go through into that crucial 12th position. And you can see the next car behind him about to go by, that's Levente Zizgrai to his inside, making his way up the order as well. He fancies a place in the A final later. And then it's
with another slowdown. That's not going to help his campaign. Yeah, Sam Fritz has really tanked his position. I think he was doing quite well, but 2 slowdowns have defined his race.
You can see how much he's waited for the opportunities just to pull out, because he didn't want to pull out too soon in case he gave the toe back to Zizgrai. There he goes on the inside. Will they leave each other room? It's very awkward, isn't it? When you fly up in the air, you just have no control in stopping yourself from door hitting the other driver.
Yeah, 100%. Makes you worry. Makes you think, who's the more worried? You from flying up in the air having no control, or the guy being next to you knowing he has no control? That's why we like racing so much. So we're on board with Sebastian Deman. This is actually the teammate of Ollie Pustrup, the Pro-Am driver. We'll get the class standings on again soon. We had some technical issues earlier, so it got reset. So it's settling down. That gap now from P12 to P13, which is the key gap, has actually started to grow. So you feel like the top 12 are kind of safe. Some swapping about there with the teammates.
That's slow down.
Yeah. So he didn't want to hold up his teammate. He's a P4. So they're riding on the back of Koenig, who's not got draft, but it really depends how much you want this. They've got, the teammates have got, as we're on white flag, 3, 4 and 5. How much do they want to risk it?
They won't risk it at all, David, let's be honest.
Yeah.
They're sitting nicely where they are. And they've got their places booked for the A final, so just bring them home. That's what I'd be doing.
100%. As Gazer now gets a slowdown, they do not want to bring it home. Gazer and Moritz, who are teammates, are sharing slowdowns.
Yeah, and if they don't serve it, if they get over the line and that yellow flag is still next to the name on the timing tower, I believe the punishment is a 40-second time penalty.
100%, yeah. You've got X seconds to serve it. Every time you go up to a corner, it pauses. Every time you ignore it, it can increase. Yeah, it goes to show the mentality is not completely there. Like you said, bringing it home was the wise strat, but 2 slowdowns in 2 laps between the 2 teammates there.
If there's one corner you do not want it now, is on the exit of the second part of Ravazza. That's the point where you've got the least amount of time to just drop off. I think for this circuit, you've got enough time to just slow down, but you don't want to hold the field up and then cause a potential accident. You need to try and be smart with how you slow down. But Elias Sawyer has pulled out a margin of nearly 2 seconds, and he's on his way to clinch the second heat.
Yes, indeed. Very solid run. I wouldn't have expected nothing else. Very good driver. Winning that by 1.5 seconds. Now see him in the A final alongside his teammate, Joey Petrick. So that's going to be interesting. Lampert with a podium there. Cunningham we saw with some great defensive work. P2. Gordon Gazer and Roch, some swapping about. Wiley Bear, ARA driver, up into P6. Postrup with a, I would say, a good recovery after, I mean, when I first saw what was happening, I expected him to be P13, P14. So to bring that home into P8 and secure his spot. Sure, he's going to be a little bit ways down in the A final, but it could have gone much worse.
Well, for Sendy bringing the car home, at least he gets some points for this, so it's not like it's the end of the world for him, but he will be in the consolation race later. Or very, very shortly, in fact. So you better be ready in a minute or so.
Yeah, it's very tiring, right? If you're a Heat 2 driver that then has to do the B final, that then makes it through to the A final, it's a lot of driving. So, B final time. So I believe this is top 6, I'm going to say semi-confidently, that you need to secure to get yourself through to the A final. And then those 6 are on the back of the A final positions. David Granez is going to be taking us away from the 1 position on the standing start. Sam Fritsch, who we saw, he's found himself there through slowdowns. Joris Ooms through a poor qualifying. Very fast driver, though. Levent Sigre had some tough racing out there. Adam Watson we saw go wrong in the race 1, P5. And Walter Gossai, yeah, he's going to be looking at seeing if he can get that. Callum Beeman, Sebastian Demand, Johnson Hutton. We'll fly through the names as we're getting ready to start the B final. Now, this is going to be a very feisty race. I believe it's top 6.
Green flag, green flag.
Almost no rest for the drivers that were just racing. Oh, something happened back there. We saw someone get hit. I think someone went too early and hit him. Right, the contact seemed to happen before the green, so I'm not really sure what happened there. Rene's away. Oh, no. Was that Sam Fritsch? I think
Yeah,
Adam Watson's been collected. He cannot catch a break. Cannot catch a break. But yeah, Sam Fritsch just asked too much of the car coming out of 1. Like, he took a lot of curb and should have just tracked out. But, you know, this is the problem. When you just come off of an active racetrack with warm tyres and lower fuel, he has just turned left and throttled. Sebastian Deman find himself in a real pickle there. So how does that shake up? Joris Ooms up to P2. Callum Beeman, P3. Sialfi, who we saw car absolutely destroyed in race 1. And I was mentioning that, you know, it's a great recovery, but he's going to be too far back. Finds himself in P4. Looks like P5. Jason Hodgins, P6. So some definite shaking around as we lost Zegre, Adam Watson, obviously Sam Fritsch. Who else did we lose? Just trying to catch, because there was quite a few people collected. Yeah, Adam Watson down 11 positions. But yes, the big gainer, Daniel Sialfi. I think he's up 9. What a start.
Well,
what a start.
Manuel Pjundal is up 10 from where he had started as well. He's running, he came up from 18th to 8th in all of that.
Yeah, impressive. Yeah, Sam not having his best time out in Imola. And I think it is just that, as I say, he's moments ago come off the track where he's on low fuel, his tyres were nicely warmed, and you just phase out for a split second and forget heavy attack. Oh, proper into the wall goes, is it Jetson? Yeah. Genset. I don't know how to pronounce that name. Jensen, that's it, Jensen. Oh, it's not, it's Gio Sheffield. Someone went seriously off though.
It's Hodgson. Hodgson's got damage to his car. We'll find out more. The American's gone down the order drastically through all of that, but that was a car that went so far off the racetrack. It might have been Vizendi who, well, say Vizendi, he was the one starting at the back, so we'll find out more who kick-started that, because it was a car that went so far off the racetrack, didn't he? It felt like he'd just gone off at the first part of Tamburello.
Yeah.
And the car just wouldn't stop.
Adam getting a move done. He's got a lot of work to do though. P11, I mean, there is 11 more minutes. It's a big ask. What's the gaps looking like? I mean, the gaps are okay. People fighting like this, Adam's going to be catching these two very quickly as they battle quite tightly. Still, it's a big ask, and you've got a fancy Piendl getting through at the moment with a 2.2 second gap back. Jensen there, so top six looking safe at the moment. As safe as you can be at Imola. Piendl has just passed Gossai there.
Coming through Tamburello again, and Piendl, I have to say, this has been a remarkable drive so far. Not that I want to jinx anything, but he's had a terrific start to this consolation race, this B final, however you want to call it. But it's been one of the best drives I've seen of the evening. And well, just see the continuation of Jocelyn. That's that is Watson on the inside of Jihaz.
Yeah, he wanted that.
10th position now.
Yeah, he wanted that. He was he saw a gap and filled his car with it rapidly. Let's see if he gets paid back. Oh no, looked like more intimidation there, getting offline and braking just to show he's not giving up with the fight. So Adam's got to clear these two, and then it's... Oh yeah, that car is broken that went off. Absolutely crabbing. Yeah, Jetson's just losing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, his car is...
it's just undrivable.
Yeah. I don't see the point. Oh, I was about to say I don't see the point. There's a position. Oh, his car doesn't look too well either. That might be why. Adam Watson
being overtaken by Watson. Yeah, up into 8th now. Oh, that's naughty from Vern. There was no way he was going to make that.
Yeah, I see that he was displeased with Adam and tried to do it back sort of thing and just got it a little wrong. I mean, Adam did send it from miles back, but he didn't make contact. He did keep it alongside, and he held the inside of the apex. So, yeah, this isn't Formula One. It worked. But yeah, he just needed to, like you said, Worm just needed to take a 2-second breath there, because unfortunately I think he just tried to send back without much thought.
And Frisch is coming back through the field now, so he's making a recovery drive just as much as Adam Watson is doing. And now we're looking at Sebastian Burkhardt for a brief moment, and going back to Sam Frisch, who is teammates with him. Burkhardt has got Adrianson's behind. Let's go back to the onboard, actually, of Adrianson's car. Surely his car is looking increasingly loose, because looking at his steering wheel angle, it looked like it looks like he's having to place the steering wheel to combat. You could just see, as he came through Ackerman and Raleigh, he had to combat the left rear stepping out.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's hoping for a couple of points, but you're going to end up with penalties.
Yeah. Didn't want to turn.
Yeah, he's giving it up. I get yeah, it's impressive what he was trying to do, but he's going to end up pulling off a move that finds himself being awarded a penalty, unfortunately. So, Yeah, Sam Fritsch, like you mentioned, making his way back through, but he's made this hard for himself. In race 1, it was dominated by slowdowns that put him into this final, into the B final, and then in the B final he started P2. He was away safe. I even remember us mentioning it. 1, 2, 3, 4 were away safe, and the exit of the curb, too much, spun the car. Up to P9, but he has enough time to catch up. But how many positions are actually up for grad? If we assume Watson's going to chase down Gossai and battle, is there space for Sam Fritsch? That we will have to wait and find out. Gendel, like Tom mentioned, has been absolutely excellent. Up 13 positions, sitting P5, almost got the second gap to P6, so not going to be an easy task for Sam Fritsch. And Sam Fritsch, actually, his mission looks a little harder. It's 3 seconds. He's now ahead of, he's just made one move, so he's right behind Adam, but 2.8 seconds back. I think that's quite a big ask.
Well, Watson's chasing after Miller at the same time, so if Frisch isn't exactly gaining on Watson, it's no wonder, because Watson is getting the hammer down just as much as he is.
Yes, well said. And if they fight, it'll bring Sam in. Could be in for a excellent finish. Yeah, been a good race, this one. Although, there is a name we haven't really said. That's David Grennes. 5.8 seconds up the way. 5.9 seconds up the way. Obviously, he capitalised from the mistake from Frisch on the exit of T2, but credit where credit's due. He's had a perfect race.
There's a battle between two Germans in the field that is. Now we're looking at Buchhardt in there, who's now behind Julian Uyen in the 393 racing for the German sim racing squad. Buchhardt, part of the setup tool WNS Motorsports team. You could just see Demand getting back in the action now, and even though this is for the minor positions, this is still a great battle we're seeing now.
Yes, indeed. A little touch there on the rear. Is that Stephen Demand? Yeah, over the curb and getting it done. He's actually lost 2 there, as he agreed, by the looks of the exit he's getting. Yeah, I think he's going to lose the position here. So that move, unexecuted, cost him 2 positions. Adam is catching. It looks like too little, too late for me. 5 seconds.
He's got to hope that Gossai and Miller start battling. That's the only way Watson is going to have a chance of being in the A final later.
Yeah, and I suppose it makes sense. Miller's very motivated. He needs to pass Gossai, and he knows Adam's catching. So if you ever needed motivation more than that. Sebastian Mann, is he going to take a look here? Late on the brakes, gets his car. I saw him flash chin. Oh, he left mostly a car's width.
It's an example of a robust but fair move. Nothing wrong with it.
Correct. Yeah, he's had a rough ride, but yeah, great move there. Excellent run. The broken car. Depends what's broken, I suppose. As they still went side by side. He's lost 3 positions in as many corners. Oh, are we going to make it 4? I think that lap 1 incident damaged half the cars in the grid. I can't find a Porsche with a straight front.
Well, we know one car that is absolutely fine, and that's this one.
Yeah, it's in its own little race. He's probably hoping the servers are working, wondering where everyone is. And Dan Siafi, great recovery race. Races after that damage on race heat 1. It looked undoable, but he finds himself P3, up 10 positions in this race, and very comfortably just going to follow Joris Urasum's here to the A final. Granted, at the back of the A final, but the A final is the A final. There's plenty of opportunities for positions if something goes wrong, as he has found this race. And I say, following your assumptions, what I meant, he isn't done and he wants one more. That's definitely what I said. As he gets the move done, up to P2. It's another
Not a bad
position in
overtake
the
there.
A funnel. Yeah.
We've got 4 drivers out of the race so far. Adriansons, Verm, Vicendi and Haag. There is Adam Watson, who had to serve a slowdown on the previous lap. His chance of getting into the A final are all but over now. Cannot see him making up all the time. And I think Sam Fritsch has made up as high as he can go as well. But 7.5 seconds. Go on.
It was valiant effort. Valiant effort. I don't remember what happened to Gordon Hawk. I remember the others. I don't remember what happened to Gordon. I wonder if it was... I'm not sure.
I think he stalled at the start or something.
Oh,
or whether
right.
his sim didn't work.
Yeah. I remember what you mean now.
Because there was a car that just barely moved off the line.
Yeah, well remembered.
So the leader's about to go over the line to begin the final lap. We've only around about 5 seconds to spare here. Here he is. Oh, it's going to be so tight. He'll get over just in time, I think. Yeah, he literally got over the line with like 3 or 4 seconds to spare. So 1 more lap to go for these.
He's going to have to fire himself up for the... He's got this all to himself. Perfect lines, calm. In a minute, he'll find himself starting way down the order in... what was it, 16th, 17th? In the thick of it in T1. Cars everywhere. So it's going to be a bit of a wake-up for him. But right now, he can just chill and think about that as he extends his gap to 7.6 seconds.
I just hope the field have not underfueled, considering that Grenon's got over the line with 1 lap to go, with only like 3 seconds on the clock.
You would hope so. Yeah, there are 3 different timed amount of races with the heat, the B final and the A final, all being different lengths. It's caught me out before when I did an ARL race. I was starting pole, I was P2 in the B and the A, whatever final it was, and I saw on grid, I just didn't have the fuel. By the time I got back to it, I'd missed the start. Painful. Very well executed from David Grenners. This is the easiest way to find yourself through the B final. Doesn't usually come this easy. Yeah, Fish has had pace, but it's just not been executed well today. Unfortunately, the mistakes he's made have really cost him. They were going to celebrate in there a little bit earlier. I actually thought there was a few % chance he was actually going to spin the car at one point. That would have been hilarious. Excellent win.
Yeah, great win for Grennes, and Kjelfi going over the line to finish in 2nd place, and that's Ooms, Beeman, Piendel remarkably making up to 5th place, and Gossai in 6th position. So out goes Andy Miller, Adam Watson and co.
Yep, valiant effort, but yeah, really well executed from the people that survived the lap 1. That looked like it was key in the B final. Very excited for the A final. Trying to remember how long the race is. My gut tells me 18 minutes. But I don't have Sam the all-knowing next to me. Just put pressure on me to remember things, so I'm going to assume it's 18 minutes. Okay, as we get ready for the A final. Or I should quit. Yeah, I prefer Tom's wording. This is the feature, and the other one was, how did you rate the consolation?
Yeah, I called it consolation.
Yeah, we're going to stick to that now. Sam's B final, A final naming is out. So, do we think the Lion GP boys are going to fight? I think they are. You got to, right? Yeah, there is no going through to, another round right now. Points are on the line. Sure, they're teammates, but we're so far into the season where the teammates know they're their opponents. They can't. There's no world now where they work together to win the championship, because if they keep doing that, they're going to give points to Ollie Postrup, which has sort of been the way it's happened so far. So I think we're in for an exciting battle. I think it's Joey Petrick and Ellis Sawyer, if I remember rightly, from Heat 1 and Heat 2 were the winners. So they're both Lion GP. Different Lion GP teams. You've got the Fenster team and the Fenster Versand.com. So yeah, very excited. And they've been very respectful. I mean, there has been some team-on-team contacts. I think it was Oberndorfer and Wiebelhaus last race. Monza, early in the race, spun Finn, which was, it's hilarious for us commentators, but it's awkward for team. And obviously we didn't get to interview either of them, so we don't know the outcome. But Oberndorfer's back here and looking good. We saw the mistake that Oberndorfer had, so that's going to cost him positions for this A final, because essentially you lose, how's it work, like a net 2 positions. Every position's worth 2 because of the odd-even situation. So we're only a couple of minutes away from gridding up from the A final. 18-minute race. Like you mentioned, Tom, need to make sure you've got fuel in the tank, because, I mean, would you run one fuel setup and just run that every race, or would you have 3 saved with different names to make sure you've got the optimal amount, or would you just play it safe?
You just play it safe, wouldn't you? I mean, if it's 18 minutes, you just simply work out how many laps you're going to need. I mean, the lap round here, you're looking at around about just over 1 minute 40, aren't you? So 5 minutes is going to be like 3 laps. So if you work it out that way, you're talking 11 laps. So you're going to need 11 laps of fuel around here in these machines.
Yeah, they'll have overlays and fuel calcs and everything. It's just remembering to check, right? The biggest problem with this format is the 3 different race formats having 3 different lengths. It's just a case of just doing all your checks before you hit the grid button, as I have so done wrong in the past. Obviously, we've got our class positions, not to forget. We won't just be focused on the overall leader. We've got the winner from ProAm and An. And then obviously we've got our team's championship as well. I mean, the team's championship isn't separated by Pro-Am and Am, so obviously we are looking really at the pro teams. There are some teammates down in Pro-Am that do contribute to points, but all of the classes are still to play for. So I think we're on... here's the grid. So starting pole is Joey Petrick, Elias Sawyer, his teammate in P2. Kim-Andre Brockland, a Pro-Am driver, starting P3 in the A funnel alongside David Connor, another Pro-Am driver, and then Pascal Wellen, another Pro-Am. So shout out to the Pro-Ams this race, showing the pros how to do it. Mate Lampert, Sebastian Orndorfer, Gordon Gazer, Florian Capel, Moritz Colin, Wiley Blair, P12 of an Am driver, Christian Neeb, and the rest. So we're getting ready to start, but very impressive there, how high the Pro-Ams and Ams are finding themselves as we have the lights going on. Line GP versus Line GP into T1. Like, Joey's start was a little poor. Yep, definitely poor. So he's getting a little nudge from his teammate. Teammate goes to block. Are we going to see Bjorkland try what he did last race? We are. Bjorkland's going for it again. Obviously very confident here.
I think he's on the inside that time compared to the outside he was when he was going through there. So great pass there from Bjorkland to go into second place overall and the highest of the Pro-Ams in this one. But you could just see Sorek coming back on the inside, and Bjorkland has to take evasive action.
Yeah, that looked, unfortunately in my eyes, that he was run out there by Sawyer. Sawyer was definitely behind entering the apex, and he blew the entry, tracked out and took Kim-Andre Bjorkland with him. So, I mean, I'm not a steward and I'm not doing the protests, but in my eyes it looked pretty clear-cut, unfortunately. But that does give Joey a nice gap up top and promotes Pascal Weiland to P2. Bjorkland down to 7th. Ollie Postrup all to play for. P12, as I say, at P13. What do you think? What was your thoughts on that? So a Pro-Am drive, obviously they score points overall, so you are encouraged to fight everyone, regardless of class. But the mentality, how do you feel? Because he could have brought that home on lap 1 in P3, sure, but lead in Pro-Am, scoring maximum points for his class, whereas right now he finds himself 3rd in class, as we see Kappel going off there.
Completing the first lap they come. The 30-car field in this final race of the evening. You see Porsche with getting his nose in front over Wiley Blair, and the car behind him is it has to be Gooch right behind him. Marcel Gooch to the outside briefly. Stroll goes too deep, and contact made between Gooch and it was Wiley Blair, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's cost him the leader of AM coming into this A final. Question in chat: what is the nice white flowery livery team? It looks good. That is Sazy. I think it's Sazy. Sazy Esports. They used to have a complete Hungarian flag, as I kept calling it last season, a sideways Italian flag. But yes, it's a nice livery. Very good team. It's spelled S-Z-E-S-E. I think Sazy. Shese. Very difficult. Lion is easier for me to say. Pascal Werner finds himself back in draft. After, if we think everything that happened to the P2, you know, we've lost Bjorklund, we've lost Sawyer. Well, he's only P3, but and even Orbendorf was ahead of Sawyer a moment ago, so he's got back through. I suppose Sawyer was having a look. Orbendorf was having a look there. Yeah, I mean, a real shame there with Elias and Kim-Andre Bjorklund. I'm impressed how Bjorklund can just take cold tyres. The drivers he was battling are like 3,000 points higher rated, and he did not let any of that come into his mind. He was gonna find it, and he mostly got the move done. It was just a bit over extended by Elias there, unfortunately. Oh, I think contact ahead of these guys. No, just smoke. So we can see Hayden Puttock has taken the lead in AM after the after Wiley Blair getting caught up in the incident we saw earlier, and obviously Whale put in leader of Pro-Am after everything that happened with Bjorklund. But we know Bjorklund can fight, but it is a big. I mean, it's a big ask. The drivers he's fighting are top tier drivers.
Down the hill they come through Akamirali. And so far, it's Patrick who's leading the way in the pros, Vale in the Pro-Ams, and the man in running in the Ams in the lead is Hayden Puttock, who's driving along very, very nicely so far. But remember, it's the overall positions that determine how many points each driver is given. So even if they're running as high as they are in the class, the higher the order they are overall, the more points they can still get.
Not getting a move done here. Oh, it's turning in anyway. This is going to get interesting. And the outside's never easy. He does get good traction. I don't fancy him. I think he's going to lose 2 positions here. He's on his own. Going to get the push. And yeah. And there's no world where he doesn't lose 2 positions here, as is the nature of the car. Oh, no. Fortune favours the brave, and he was brave and late on the brakes. Nagif might think he got a little bit pushed out there, but I think it was all fair. Oh, is that going to be a late 3 wide? As Wiley Blair pulls out of it, thinking more of it. After everything that's happened, he does not need a 3 wide to further cement his problems.
So down the inside, you can just see the headlights are flashing on screen now for the cars there as the day is darkening, and hopefully won't see too much, although they're coming back out into the sunlight actually, so I don't know why they've switched the headlights on, unless I'm thinking differently though, or seeing things. Are you seeing the headlights flashing on these machines?
Yes, every now and then, yeah.
And on that note, folks, I will be signing off and let David finish off the stream. It's been a fantastic round so far, and we've still got 11.5 minutes of this race. Will Patrick hold on to victory, or will we see Vile or Soa and Co decide to have an absolute go for it at the end?
Yeah, lovely talking to you, Tom. Talk soon. Okay. All to play for still here. Ollie Postrop's looking for those positions. He's the leader of pros in the standings. He really wants to get some points here, but he knows he needs to finish and finish strong. And he's up against a Shazy car, who is a... Shazy will be protecting a few positions ahead to make sure Ollie doesn't charge through the field. He's finding it difficult. Ollie with great exit here. Let's see, I don't think from that exit he's going to be able to get it done. He's taking a look. Bit of contact. Late on the brakes. No. Ostrop really struggling here. Yeah, I mean, Marcel in front is not a slow driver by any stretch of the imagination. But let's not forget, says he wants these team points as well. Obviously, they're going to try and take it to Line GP, at least one of the teams. But it's not proving easy at the moment with Line GP always in qualifying looking extremely dominant. But shows he's getting a lot done in the race. And yeah, I answered the question in chat. I'm a big fan of their livery as well. Completely new livery for this season, as I mentioned. But yeah, I like this one. Very understated, which is rare. So a big gaggle. Is that 9 to 16? On the nice little gaggles. We see Joe Petrick just starting to break that draft way, which is great to see. Very impressive. Not by a huge margin, but he'll be able to pull out a margin now with that gap. Orbendorf has dropped off the back of his teammate Sawyer. I wonder if there was a slowdown or something. Yeah, not looking good. Okay, so we're on the front of this train. Hayden Patek. Oof. He's lost a position or two back there. Hayden's going to have to go defensive here against Neve. It's a nice livery as well. Hayden keeps his car in, trying not to make contact with the rear fender. As long as he can get on the outside, there's not much traction out here. Oh, he got a slow down, didn't he? Perfect for Hayden. He can just drop the hammer now and flip his mirror. He doesn't need it for a moment. It's not going to be easy for Neve to serve this slowdown as well. But he does need to. And he's got it done. Still side-by-side battles going. Long season. Every little point can help. So Postrip's day looking like it's not going to get much better. Marcel, what it seems, more than happy to hold him off. Oof. Maxinoff is getting a slowdown for that. Surely he is, yep. Great battle, but way too much curb. Yeah, that's going to really cost him. Wait, as he moves under braking, I don't think I love that. He lost 2 positions and then dived to the inside early. I don't know. Obviously, I'm not a steward. We only saw it from an off-TV angle. But you have to remember, it's not the guy behind's fault that you got to slow down. We do like the netcode in these cars. So far, I've been pretty impressed. Pascal holding off a less Sawyer there. Orbendorf waiting in the wings. So Orbendorf, I know I mentioned there's 2 Lion GP teams, but Elias and Sebastian are on the same Lion GP team. It's Joey Petrick and P1 who's on the other Lion GP team. Still to play for though. One thing I do like about this car, the Porsche Cup, obviously the extra draft can sometimes feel a little artificial with how much draft it is, but it does create great racing later in the race. We still have this big gaggle, and the door-to-door racing can be very exciting. Orbendorfer back on the back of Elias Sawyer after the failed attempt on a pass. That's a huge off. If I had to guess, he oversaved that or caught the bump. There is a bump over there on the grass somewhere. If you go too long on the grass, horrible bump. Because we're right on board. Let's see what happens. It must be the bump. So it looked like he had it in order. So that's fine. So he just overcorrected, yeah, 'cause he dropped a tyre on the sand. Wasn't a bad save, actually, in the end. Yeah, he just dropped one tyre in the sand, and it just rotated a lot slower than the others, and around he went, and he compensated well. Yeah, sure, overcompensated, but it beats dying. But that has cost him. So, Line GP 1, 2, 3. And yeah, Gordon Gazer will fancy a chance now. Mate Lampert. But yeah, I mean, Pascal Raoult is not a slow guy. I know we're seeing the ProAm badge, but he's been very quick. Gordon's blinking a little bit. I saw one of those Chesney cars blinking in the last race. It must have been Gordon. Yeah, Pascal finds two different teammates behind him now. He's gone from defending 2 Line GPs to now having to defend 2 Chesney cars. And if I stand into correct, am I seeing that right? P12 to P19 are German? I just noticed that there's a giant chunk of the standings, all German, all in a train. Look at that. A country working together. See Alfie losing out there to Noff. He's been on charges, Noff, after that, especially after that slowdown. Picked up a knock there. I wonder if Cooch behind will have a run. Let's see. No, too far back. When you're being pushed like that and you don't know the guy ahead of you is going to leave space on one side, it's very scary to not know if you're going to be pushed into a closed gap. But it worked out. Will Marcel have a look? Yeah, I mean, Noth is the guy I said moved under brake. He needs to be careful with his reacting. Blocking is defined by reacting to someone's change of direction. You can act before they do, as hard as you want. You can't react like that. Not saying that's what I saw, but it was damn close. What's it do? Weak. Not easy into Equinarani. He thought better of it in the last moment, but he should have a good run here. It's not the longest run, and you'd have to be quite committed to send it from here. And Wiley Blair's not slow. He's just had an awfully unlucky race. As Ratchet completely ignored the second curb there. Yeah, it didn't seem optimal though. Did lose a bit of time there. See him move in the background. Gossai. Colin back there's got to slow down. It's going to really cost him. This is Kaplan. So can Postrup do anything with this? Whoa! As we cut to rear camera, I see all of Postrup. So yes, he tried to. But Marcel's car is seeming very wide to Postrup. He cannot do anything. Is he going to send it inside? No, he's trying to go around the outside of Marcel. There's just no traction on exit. That's the problem, though, when you do that. This is going to be very opportunistic. Oh, yeah, what's happened to Watzig here? Lars having not the best race. Oof. And a Blair with a meatball? So I assume something's happened between the two of them? With my powers of deduction? Oi. Oh. We can see that again. Maybe Lars on it? I'm not sure. I think the contact was really early on that caused it. So they're side by side. Wiley, I mean, like, if I didn't know the track, there's no problem there. But Blair didn't take the apex. Like, the line at Imola is we take the apex on the left. So I don't know how I feel about. I'm not a steward. I don't know how I feel about it. Yeah, Wiley Blair should have taken the inside apex on the left there, and there would have been plenty of room for the outside. But he's almost gone in deep as defensive action, and they've made contact. But I still think it's a racing incident. But yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, netcode's netcode. We all know netcodes exist. If you don't know netcodes exist and you use it as an excuse, then, yeah, I mean, it's a thing that we all have to deal with. So if it's something that's equal for everyone, it can't be used as an excuse in my books. It happens. It happens to us all. And usually what people forget about netcodes is it was going to happen. Like, those two were going to hit. But, yeah, the contact, whether netcode or not, was a shame that they both ended up losing control. I just think, yeah, Wiley Blair on the inside, he's overcommitted to defend his line and completely blew the inside apex. But he's entitled to that space, so this is my quandary. It's not like Wiley Blair's using space on the track that doesn't belong to him, because he does. It's just the expectation of the other car that he thinks he's going to take the apex. So, yeah, I'll leave it up to the stewards. But I think it's just a racing incident. It's a shame. There was no ill intent from either driver. So this is Gazer, and well, still fighting it out. Pascal's done a great job. I know he lost those 2 positions to Sawyer and Orberdorfer, but I mean, it can't be easy. He's going up against teams here. So Postrup and Marcel, 8 and 9 now. Wait, and that's the checkered. A huge slowdown. And that was the checkered flag. Where did the 18 minutes go? Holy, honestly, must have been a good race, because that felt the shortest of the races we had today, and it was the longest. I completely missed it was last lap. I honestly thought that was a slowdown was being served. But yeah, obviously a great race. Time flew by. Joey Petrick with the win. Congratulations. Elias Sawyer, his teammate, P2. Well, the other Line GP team. Orbendorf for P3. Excellent race. Pascal with the win in Pro-Am. And Am, our winner, Hayden Putter. I'm just trying to think what my picks were. I had Joey, so I get that point. Hayden was my pick, so I get that point. If I picked Pascal as my pick, I get a clean sweep, which is very rare. I can hear people in the back room checking for me, because I really want to know if I got an absolute clean sweep of the picks. Not easy. Oh my days. I'm doing a lottery ticket tonight. Awesome. There you go. There you go. I think that means Sam's right on 1, because he had similar pick to me. Thank you, Alex, in chat. Yeah, I miss Sam. I probably won't tell him that, but I really do miss him. It's nice. I love talking to Tom, though. We both had Pascal. Yeah, loved that race. Apologies for the technical issues in round 1. But yeah, we got it sorted. And excellent racing. We will wait for the stand-ins to come up just to confirm the order. I say to confirm the order. Obviously, there are penalties and protests to be applied, and the stewards go through everything. It's meticulous. There we go. Joe Petrick with the win overall, and obviously our pro winner, Elias Sawyer P2, Sebastian Orbendorfer P3. That's the Line GPs 1, 2, 3. Pascal Wow, winner in Pro-Am, P4 overall. Gordon Gazer, Mate Lampard 5 and 6. Kim Brooklyn after that. I already talked about it. Marcel Monet's P8, Ollie Postrup with P9. Not the recovery race he wanted in the A final, but it's tough out there. Florian Kappel rounding up the top 10. And Hayden Puttock with the win in Am, P11 over Andre de Brown in P12, Christian Neve, David Koenig, Daniel Sialfi, Max Knopf, Manuel Piandi, and Callum Beeman is your top 18. David Granez with, I mean, it's hard. He had his way in the B final. He had his time in the limelight. Joris Ooms, Walter Gusai, Luke Blow, Mathieu Collin, Marcel Gooch, Lars, unfortunately, with that incident. Nagi, Rinka, Ireland, which, yeah, not the result he wanted, but a stellar performance anyway. Wiley Blair with the meatball near the end there. Painful, to say the least. But yeah, obviously these are pre-penalties, the things to change. But yeah, stellar stuff. I tell you, the hardest thing about this is sitting in the middle. I feel, yeah, different room. It feels like a completely different room. All right, we will take some interviews. We have Hayden up first. Hayden, can you hear me okay?
Yes. Yeah, I can hear you.
Congratulations, mate. What a... It was a lot of door-to-door. It must have been difficult, mate. You won AM. You must be really happy. Yeah, talk me through your experience of today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Yeah, it was. I weren't too confident coming into this round. I don't know. I found that I haven't really had like the pace sort of at each round, but I think I've just been trying to just drive my own race at least. I think that's what's helping me in general. But yeah, coming into here, I did not expect a P3 in quali. I thought I was going to be a lot lower in the AMs. But yeah, I knew there was a bit of a gap to, I think it was Blair, who was P1 in AMs. So I thought if there's anyone that I need to sort of look out for, if I can get through to that A final, it's going to be him. Yeah, the first heat, bit of carnage, as you do. First couple of corners. Yep. And yeah, I just found just trying to get in a rhythm and just sort of keep an eye out for the AMs around me rather than get involved with others. But when it came to it, I sort of had to have a bit of fun.
Yeah, no, stellar stuff. I'm trying to remember all your races. Obviously, there were so many races. I'm trawling over the data, but obviously what mattered there was your final A result. Not just the win, but P11 overall. I mean, like I've been explaining so many times, it's your overall position that scores the points. You must be chuffed. Almost a top 10 overall with, 43 cars and so many fast drivers. What are you most happy with, P11 or P1?
I'd say P1.
Yep, okay.
Just because I think that will sort of matter, to me at least, in the end. I just want to try, and as much as it is fun racing everyone, I sort of got to view my competition as the
for sure
as those AMs. But yeah, I think a P11 from the field that there was definitely a very good result.
There was only 5 ProAms who beat you. That's one way of looking at it. There are a lot of ProAms in this series. So yeah, stellar stuff. The Italian doubleheader, is this combo you like? And are there any tracks coming up that you're either, super excited about or super nervous that are on the schedule?
To be fair, I'd say as much as I like Imola, I always find this is normally a track I struggle out of it. So I'm happy that this one's out of the way now. But I'm shocked at my results because I did not think if you could ask my team, I said before this, I was like, I'm a little optimistic about it, but yeah, I'm happy Imola's out of the way. What's it? Sebring, I know Adelaide's in there.
Daytona up
Hockenheim.
next. Yeah, Hockenheim.
And Daytona. Yeah, I'd say Daytona's probably my favourite track. I know a lot of people absolutely hate it, but yeah, Daytona for me is a favourite. So yeah, I think the rest of the tracks I like all of them, to be fair. I think there's been a couple we've already had that I'm not too sure about. Amon being one of them, Imola sort of being the other. But yeah, I'm just happy for these next few rounds. I think as long as I'm doing what I'm doing, then
yeah, for sure. So have you learned Adelaide?
Yes, I don't know when it first got brought out, but I was driving it in the Porsche Cup. I did do the week. I'm expecting the worst carnage. It is going to be. I think that's heat as well. I'm pretty sure. I think I look. So that one is going to be very interesting for a spanner in the works for sure. But yeah, I think if I can just keep doing what I'm doing up to there, hopefully I can have a bit of a points deficit to like not have to worry too much about like doing well. But obviously I want to try and do as best as I can anyway. But
yeah, sure.
Yeah,
You're doing your scoring points, you're finishing. That's how you win a championship when there's lots of rounds and lots of heats. And I think you're doing an excellent job. You were my pick for today, so I'm easy points for me. My picks were I won every class, so I'm trying to think who did better, say me or the drivers.
But to be fair, one thing like I sort of didn't think about was like the drop round, sort of how it works, or like, well, not how it works at least, but I knew obviously I'd be missing around, and then after a few rounds at least, you see the points, having like a 0 or me proper missing around and getting no points at all. It just means I've just got to try and carry on doing what I'm doing. Can't let that.
Yeah, exactly. Right, great chatting to you. I hope to chat to you in a future round, Hayden. Anyone you'd like to give a shout out to?
Yeah, go on. All the Race Forge boys cheering me on. It's just me, but yeah, all the Race Forge boys, and yeah, thanks for the support and thank you very much.
Yeah. Great stuff, Hayden. Look forward to chatting to you in future rounds, and yeah, good luck with the championship.
You too.
Good stuff today. Cheers. Thanks, Hayden.
Thank you. Bye.
All right, Hayden Puttock, let's talk to our overall winner, Joey Petrick. Hello, Joey. Can you hear me okay, mate?
Yes, hello.
First things first, congratulations. Excellent race. You must be chuffed. Could it have gone any better? Like, you looked calm, you looked fast. I remember you in qualifying, like lap 1, P3 overall, lap 2, pole. And you had pole, you won. And you won the feature, like, easy, or or did everything just fall in your lap? How was it?
I think it was easy because of good preparation, so then it maybe feels easy, but yeah, I did a lot of practice, so and I like the track very much, so I was looking forward to this race, and yeah. I would say everything worked like I practiced it, and yeah.
Was you doing
not
officials?
Much to say. Yes, I did some.
Yeah, I was going to say I did see a couple of Lion GP. I think it was you, but yeah, stellar stuff. I love this track, but yeah, you absolutely nailed it. Elias Sawyer and Orbendorf are the other Lion GP team. What was the mindset? Like, obviously, I see you as Lion GP. What's it like on your side? Are you, because we're getting down to this crunch point now where you can be a teammate, but let's face it, it's going to come down to Lion GP versus Lion GP at some point. Are you fighting, or is there still a, I suppose fight but don't do anything stupid, I think is what I'm trying to get at. Is that the current feeling within the Lion GP camp?
Yes, I would say so. Like, we don't have like a rule that one comes first from another, but yeah, everyone is equal and everyone can win and everyone can fight. But yeah, it should be not stupid mistakes or something like that we take each other out. That would be not that good.
And did we get an update on what happened last round with the teammate on teammate takeout on Monza? Was it Orbendorfer on the new guy, the Ford guy, the IRL driver? I keep forgetting his name. Why does his name keep blanking me?
Oh, Finn.
Yeah. I think Orbendorfer took out Finn. Was it all good? Was everything all happy?
Yeah, it was a mistake, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit too late on the brakes, and then it was unfortunate that it was two teammates. Yeah,
sure.
Course.
Yeah. It's the worst.
Sometimes it happens when you have that much cars on track.
Yes, correct. I mean, I haven't done the math and the standings, but you must be looking good now for taking back the P1 position, and obviously Ollie Postrup not having he got unlucky. I think race 1 he had an off and then recovery, and then Marcel Moretz in this race was just able to fend him off. So big points. You must be pleased. Feeling good for the run to the end. Is there any tracks that you are dreading?
I think there will be some interesting tracks that come up, like Daytona. The next one is a little bit special for the Porsche Cup. Another common track to drive this car. So it will be again a little bit special, like Le Mans or something like that. That you have to, drive strategically and not like only on pace. So that's
Well, that seems to be one of your fortes as well. So I think you're looking good now, because like you say, Daytona, you can work together as a team. Drivers like Postrup, it must be tough. I mean, none of the Lion GP guys are going to give him a push at Daytona, so it's going to be tough for him. I'm really looking forward to exactly. Really looking forward to see how those pans out. Joey, would you like to give a shout out to anyone?
Yeah, shout out to Elias and Sebastian. They did a great job as well to secure the whole 1, 2, 3, and we can, I think it was really nice to race with them today.
Yeah, no, excellent stuff, and I'm sure I will be talking to you again soon in a upcoming round when you come in for an interview after maybe another race win. I wouldn't be shocked. You were my pick. I picked you before the race and you did it, so thank you.
Okay. Thank you for the trust.
Cheers, Joey. Again, congratulations. Good luck on the championship. Cheers.
You. Goodbye.
Joey there. So, that's it. 2 good interviews. We're glad we got to speak to them. Daytona up next. As Joey mentioned, this is going to be special. Perfect word. The draft in this car is very strong. Draft at this track is very powerful. There will be the team element, so we're going to see how that plays. Hasn't always played into their hands. We saw Road Atlanta, where the team was working together. It backfired a little bit. Monza backfired a little bit, not as much as Road Atlanta. So I'm sure Daytona, they're going to be hoping for a better result, but that'll be up next week. But I think that's everything. Remember, this series is sponsored by Apex Racing Academy, your home for setups, track guides, coaching, telemetry, setups provided, the majority of all the popular cars, GT3, GTP, LMP2, all the good stuff, the Porsche Cup that you're seeing out there right now. I still use their sets. I'm humble 6K pleb, down to 5K now, due to not practicing much. But I think that's everything from me. Sam should be back next to me next round. And again, thank you for watching, and we will catch you next week for round 6 at Daytona. Cheers.